Well, with me now is Christi Jackson. She's a US immigration attorney based in the London offices of transatlantic immigration law firm Laura Devine. Christi, good to have you with us. Yes. And when we're talking about the people who'll be affected, we've talked about 3 countries, but that's not all.
No, I think it's the most obvious countries because they're the ones that are immediately south of Mexico. So, you know, you have to pass through Mexico to arrive in America from those 3 countries. But I think there's a lot of concern about some of the islands, Haiti, Cuba. A lot of them are in Mexico coming in that way. And now I fear we could start seeing boats and you know, something akin to what we've seen in Greece with a lot of people trying to come in right up to the American border to skirt around this this issue.
People are very tuned to what's happening in the news, so they you know, are aware they have to change strategies.
Well, I definitely think that the news is out there, and I think people know about it. Obviously, and now we have social media, we have Twitter, and a lot of these people are aware. But I also think it's important to note they're literally fleeing for their lives in many cases. They're not checking Twitter to find out if you know, the Trump administration has made a change. So I don't think they care. I think they're just trying to go as far away as they can.
And some of our viewers may say, well, then what's the problem with arriving in Mexico and resettling there?
Well, it's a good question. However, I think it's important that you remember that Mexico, many parts of Mexico, are actually listed as so dangerous that Americans shouldn't travel there. Almost akin to Syria, at the same level that Syria is listed for American travelers. So now we're telling Americans don't go there, it's unsafe, but everybody else, you stay there.
And also the Mexicans aren't happy about this.
Exactly. Of course
I mean, the Mexican government.
Well, that's why we're here, because the Mexican government didn't want to make an agreement to be you know, the safe harbor to take in the asylum seekers. So no, I don't think Mexico wants everyone staying here anyway. They're in an unfortunate geographic position that everyone's going through Mexico.
What happens next? Because this was a key campaign promise from President Trump. It will please his supporters, and
Absolutely.
The US Supreme Court is usually the last word.
Well, this isn't the last word, and I think that the Trump administration wants you to see this as a huge victory. In fact, the acting director of USCIS, Cusinelli, tweeted, "It's a huge victory." It's not. It's not. It's a temporary measure that the Supreme Court has said, we're going to let this play out in the lower courts. It will be back to the Supreme Court in full. They're not hearing the full argument right now. They only were hearing, should they let the injunction continue or not? So it's coming back. This is not the end of it, and hopefully the ACLU, who's leading the lawsuit, will, you know, be able to keep pushing the momentum forward.
I think we'll speak about this again, Christi Jackson.
I'm sure we will.
Thank you very much for coming
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.